a sense of that, just a small sense of it, but they recognize that there's a greater compassion that starts to develop for others. So Mahayana, meaning great vehicle, means that we begin to work and establish a compassion towards others. And so the focus is, rather than for our own liberation, our own nirvana, which you've probably heard, the Buddha says that instead of going off and sitting in a cave or under a tree somewhere and obtaining that for ourselves and being done, which is called an arhat, he says we can attain a greater compassion and a greater liberation, and in fact enlightenment through working for the benefit of others. Because to truly be able to work for others, we can't be egocentric. You can't have you as the central point and be able to work for another being. It's not really possible. Because it means in every activity that we would do, whatever kind of kindness or compassion that we wanted to show someone, there would be some kind of scheme, there would be some kind of end result goal for ourselves. And that always jeopardizes the compassionate activity that we're wanting to accomplish for another. So if we look across the world in all the different faiths, all the different religions, they all have these great saints, great teachers. And all of them, if we look, and they are reasonable, meaning they're not crazy, but they're actually these saints. If they're reasonable, all of them had worked for the benefit of somebody else above and beyond their own self-interest. And that's what the Buddha calls the Mahayana, this greater vehicle. And so he coined a phrase called Bodhisattva. That's a person that has this kind of enlightened mentality that sees that working for others is the ultimate way to remove our own clinging and grasping to ego, which then liberates us from our suffering. So there's two things that I would like to point out that I don't know how, if the class discussed them or not, but they tend to be very misunderstood in the West, and that's the term nirvana. Nirvana does not mean enlightenment. We often hear this term, oh, attain nirvana. That is not the same as enlightenment. In fact, enlightenment's term in Sanskrit is anuttara samyak sambodhi. Nirvana is a Sanskrit term that means liberation. The other term means complete and total awakenedness. So nirvana actually means that we become liberated or free from our own imprisonment of our negative emotions and the habitual reaction that we have to those emotions. Now, those habitual reactions is called karma, another greatly misunderstood term. Everybody thinks you go into a store, you steal an apple, oh, it's bad karma, you're going to get hit by a car. That's not what that means. That's not karma. And then you see these fun little bumper stickers, at least on the West Coast. It says, my dogma ran over your karma, or my karma ran over your dogma.